Dhanashri, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Thanks to the IJS program, I'm back in business.
That's good. That's good. Well, congratulations on your new role. This is your graduation call. This is always one of those fun times where we get to talk about kind of your journey. And tell it real quick. Can you tell us where you landed? Where are you working? What's your role?
So I accepted a role of product manager at a fintech startup called Stavatar. They are based in New York, but they have an office here in South Lake, Texas, Dallas Fort Worth suburb, and they are a B2B SaaS tool providing for alternate asset management companies like hedge funds, private equities. So it's a completely new field for me.
Very
It's
cool.
exciting.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. I'm glad they made the smart decision to bring you on board. I know that you will have a huge impact with them. Let's jump into kind of this journey on how you found the intentional product management program and the job search. I'd love to hear prior to you landing where you are now, what was your career like? What was sort of your journey? We all have a different journey into product. What was yours like?
My journey into product management was not atypical. It was actually, I would say, stereotypical. I've a lot of like 15 plus years background in software engineering. So I was building applications, enterprise level applications for a lot of different industry verticals, e-commerce and telecom and healthcare. And then I landed into real estate vertical. That is where my organic shift from software engineering application development to product management happened because I think I was not your stereotypical developer. I was always more interested in why we are doing it, who are we doing it for, rather than how do I get this to work. So I would actually say I was not a great software engineer. So it was a natural fit for the product management. And I started working as one even before we had a formal product management team at my previous company. So I got to do a lot of things brand new. And I really enjoyed being in that space where I was able to talk to stakeholders and making those important decisions and actually understand the impact that we are going to have by doing all those things that we were working on. So that's how I transitioned to product management. And from Greystar, I went to another big real estate company, which provides property management software. And that is how my journey as a PM was always in the real estate vertical, prop tech vertical. That's how I landed here. And then I was looking for my next role for almost over a year because the company that I was working for, I had resigned for personal reasons and I was taking a break. But when I was back to jump into the market, I found it very hard. Until then, I was always reached out by recruiters, and that was not the case this time around. So it was hard to kind of keep applying through LinkedIn and my network, and nothing seemed to stick. So I was getting frustrated, but I was not wasting my time. I decided to use this time to get a more structured knowledge about product management itself by doing some cohort based product management certification. And from there, I built my network. And one of those friends were a graduate from alumni from IJS program. So he kind of told me about this program, and I was curious about it, but I left it at that until a few months later. That conversation kind of came back to me, and I wanted to revisit what he was talking about. And Shobit's posts, thanks to the algorithms, we all get like nuanced by it. But I think that whole nuisance is not really true. It helped me. Universe brought those brought those snippets from IPM on my LinkedIn feed, and then I was hooked, and I booked my first call, which was with Shishir, I believe, and that's how I got connected to IPM program.
That's awesome. I love that journey. And your transition from engineering to product didn't make you not a good engineer. I think engineers who understand the whole thing are good engineers. It just means that you're more well-rounded than some of the engineers that you and I have had the privilege to work with. But that's wonderful. I'm glad that you're here. I love that you were using that time to really grow your product skills as well. We've talked about it in the program that certifications have their place. The idea of the certification for the certification case is so-so, but really the value, if you really love the knowledge or want to learn those things, then great. Like a good, well structured program that helps accelerate your learning, super valuable. I'm glad you also used it to network. That's really, really smart. When you were trying to decide, when you were evaluating, so you had a referral from a friend or a connection to IJS. Prior to joining, what were some of the struggles in your job search? You said that you were feeling like you were doing the LinkedIn applies. What was that like? What were some of the things that were sort of holding you back, other than obviously the market was also a bit different? But tell us a little bit more about what that looked like for your job search before you joined IJS.
I was solely using LinkedIn job search to apply for the roles that I thought are perfect fit for me. And I kept on reaching out to, like, when I apply to a company, I always remember to follow that company and check if there are any common people who are working in that company in my first level or second level or even third level network, and try to reach out to people. But I think that just the market was very rough. And I did get a couple of interviews and I did not convert. So I did not want to waste those opportunities that are very few, anyways. To not convert. So that was a lesson that I learned, that, hey, I cannot do this on my own. And I want to get some help who will, like, which will be personalized help, somebody to hold my hand and guide me through the process. That I think made me realize two interviews after going to the final loop, very big companies. I would have loved to work for them, but the fact that I did not convert, it was a great experience. It made me a better interviewer for other companies, but I knew that I needed some professional help. And that's when I seriously started to look for a program that is suitable to me, where I can enroll and get that help.
That's great. That's great. Before you decided to kind of pull the trigger to join IJS, did you have any hesitations or any concerns about joining?
Absolutely. And I think this may not be a surprise for you, because I'm sure this is a hesitation for a lot of people. The price point, it was a very high fee, which made me stop and think about it a little bit. It's not like I was put on the spot, like, decide right now. It was still like I had 3 days time to, after that initial introductory call with Cheshire, to kind of sleep over it, think about it. But that was the biggest hesitation, because of the flat fee structure, where if a person is getting a job at, let's say, L4, L5 versus L7, L8, same fee applies to everyone, which was kind of holding me back. So that was the biggest hesitation. And the reason I decided to take the plunge, leap of faith, is the way it was structured, is the how payment was structured. There was not a time limit. When that was the biggest draw and the value proposition that you guys have. It made me stop and think and realize that, hey, I need to also think about how much money I could be making if I had a job right now. So that value proposition was undeniable. And also the fact that I had this program to become a better interviewer, more well rounded in not just behavioral interviews, but also the product knowledge itself, and which would help me land a better job because I will be a better candidate. There was some guarantee that, hey, after the first initial interview with me, you guys are also scouting for the people who make it right fit for the program, and people you can actually know that, hey, this is some candidate that I can actually help make the bigger leap in their career. So that was very helpful, that you were also taking some stake and skin in the game.
Good, good. Yeah, we've definitely heard that that can be some of that hesitation, and I appreciate you sharing that. It's a good, honest feedback, and it's when we look at it, that return on investment. There's so many different attributes that can help make it make sense, but at the moment, it's still a hard decision for some people. And but I'm glad to see that it's worked out really well for you. That's obviously that's our goal. And you're right, we do just because someone's interested doesn't mean that they can join. We have to be confident that we can help them succeed. You have a great background, and a lot of it just needs to be positioned well to open up roles for you, which is great. So now let's skip to the part where you're in the program. What's your first moment where you really had this moment, or that really helped you feel like you were really getting this together, or some sort of eye-opening moment for you in the program?
Okay, let me think about it. I think There was not a single aha moment where it was an eye opening moment where I felt that, oh, this is what I was lacking in my search. But I feel for my case, and I know everybody's job search journey is slightly different. For me, it was many small things that kind of added up to solidify my belief in the program and make me follow it to the T. The first thing was how well structured the whole program is. The day I joined, like I have a sheet, I have a dedicated folder where I can go to an Excel sheet and I know exactly what I need to be working on that day, and it very structured approach. There is whole how you want to start with, tell me about yourself, and resume building, LinkedIn profile, and then actual product journey, interviews, behavioral, everything is very well structured, and the coursework is awesome, and the mindset and the coaching that you guys provide on a weekly basis in the calendar, where if I'm working on my resume, I could join that group session. It was perfectly, you have thought about every small little detail, and I was never feeling lost. Even if I did feel lost at times, there was every day your coach was there to help you and hold your hand and guide you what you can do. If there is a time sensitive thing that you need somebody's eyes on and help with, I could get that help. So there were these multiple things that were really, really well thought out in the program.
Thank you for saying that. We try very hard to anticipate all of the different states that people will be in, and how can we accommodate that. I One of the things that you mentioned there was some of our group sessions and office hours. One of the things that we've added in the last I guess 3 or 4 months is having one of our success coaches have office hours every day, 4 days a week, that you can just show up. You don't have to schedule. You can just be there and get help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so glad that's been helpful. We've been very excited. We've seen a lot of really positive impact for students in that. So that's great. Well, let's walk me through the process of landing this particular gig. How did it go? How did IJS have a part in that? How did we help you through that? Kind of walk us through that.
Sure. I think I want to go back and mention one more thing that was a big draw for joining the IJS program. That was the warm referrals that the IJS network can help me provide when I'm applying to a dream role or any role that is a perfect, suitable role for me. I was really excited about that. But like I said, everybody's job search journey is different. I had made up my mind to not apply through LinkedIn what I had been doing for the past few months, which was clearly not working. So I said, I'll hold off on that. I'm not going to go to LinkedIn and look at job postings and look at my filters and job searches, but I'm going to focus on IJS. Once I start getting higher ratings on my mock interviews and I have a good confidence that is built in me, which will then prompt me to target jobs that are better suited and I'm better prepared to interview for those roles. But as luck would have it, I was actually reached out by somebody in my network, existing network, that hey Dhanashri, I'm gonna send your resume to a friend of mine who is the founder of this startup. So maybe he can give you a call and you guys can talk about it. And I did not pursue that. I said, okay, fine, thank you very much. You can send my resume, because honestly, I sent my old resume, which was because my resume was not approved then. So I sent my old copy and I did not proactively reach out to that person, founder of the company that I'm working at. And he sent me a text. And obviously, if somebody sending me a text like a founder of the company, I was gonna respect that and have a conversation with him. So I had that conversation with him and it was so organic. So just like you and me are talking right now, Will, it was a very easy conversation. I did not have to go through the team A, because my team A interview, mock interview, was just like I'd scheduled it. So it was not approved. So I just went completely raw. But it was not completely raw because I was putting in the work for that journey just with the team A and the behavioral coursework that I was looking at. So I kind of went through the interview process there. None of the interviews followed the interview structure for the big tech. I tried to bring in my star stories, but they were shot down. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I was raw in those interviews, but I still had homework that I had been doing for these roles, which I could draw parallels to. And when they were asking questions, I could draw parallels from my previous experience in that area, even if it was not a perfect match, and bring it on the table for discussion. So that is how that whole process happened. And I got a job offer. And you know that whole rest of the story.
That's true. Yes, we were there for that negotiation. That part was, which by the way, you did a wonderful job with that. That was good too. Understanding your value and what you're bringing to the table. I like how you're talking about, and you and I had talked about this before we started the interview today. Of the job search in some of these companies doesn't always look like the formula, and that's where if all you do is memorize everything and you prep for very specific questions only, then you're not really prepared to deal with the curveballs that will happen in a real job search. And so part of what we try to do, and I this is what I got from what you were saying, is that there was elements of you having dug into your past work and thought about your impact and thought about the skills you've used that allowed for you to sort of navigate this strangely formed interview process with this company. It's a little bit more organic, a little bit more, well, let's talk about this and let's dig into here and let me interrupt you there. There are real interview processes where an interviewer doesn't want a long answer. They want it to be a discussion, not a presentation.
Yeah.
And I think that's great that you had the right background, you had the thoughts about your work, and you had the confidence. That mindset work, I think, is a big part of that as well, is that you're valuable, you bring great skills, you have a lot to offer, and when it's the right fit, you'll be valued appropriately in your work. But your value isn't determined by just your work or your background. You yourself are valued. And so coming into an interview with that mindset, that attitude, that position makes a big difference. And I'm so glad that you were able to kind of navigate that as well.
Yeah.
So, when you think about the program, if you were to describe the program in your own words, for someone who might be watching this or trying to make some decisions for themselves, how would you describe what the program is?
I think when I was looking at joining the program, I was watching the testimonials, YouTube links, that whatever I could find, whatever I could get my hands on. And I remember, I think it was Kayuri Anand who described the program as a makeover program. And that was very funny. And I think it is true because it prepares you so well, makes you a polished interviewer, prepares you for these interview curveballs, and also helps you in the whole mindset coaching, how to deal with rejections, because they happen a lot in a job search. But if I look back on it, what did not work for me when I was searching alone versus when I was searching and preparing through IJS is, in today's market, it takes a village. It takes a village to land a role and be successful in the role. You need people to be your champions. You need people to lift you up when you are down in the dumps. And IJS program to me provides that village. That is my village. So I could lean in. There are so many options in the IJS program to build your network. There are so many wonderful, wonderful people. Sometimes I thought, oh my God, this person, why would he or she even need to be in the program? They are so accomplished and they were so down to earth and willing to help, not just the actual resume coaches, but I had help from the program who are like my village. My villagers were ready to jump in. Okay, let me take a look at your resume. Hey, you could improve it there. You could add, you can elaborate a little bit here. Maybe this is not very clear. Mind blowing how helpful people are. That was a big benefit for me, honestly.
I think that's one of the things that is hard to see from the outside is we have a community of really involved and engaged product managers with a lot of experience. Some of the times we get to one of these sessions, like I think about the Thursday group session. Sometimes we'll have 15, 20, 25 people. It all depends on sort of availability, but it's open to everyone in the program. But in terms of their schedule, they're there. But if you assume the average time of tenure of people in there, you're dealing with a couple hundred years of product experience on that call. I
No
mean, Shobit
kidding.
and I are there to answer questions, but and we do that, but also there's that communal opportunity for people to share what are they finding, what are they seeing in their background, what have they done in their past, and so there is that opportunity for people to invest in each other, to celebrate together on the accomplishments that they have, to pick each other up when they had a rough day or a rough week. Maybe they got a rejection or didn't move to the next round or whatnot. And I think it is hard to imagine that outside when you're not part of it, it's hard to imagine what that could be like because it can be lonely in that job search. That's good. I'm really glad that you found that. You've been a wonderful part of the community. I know that you've helped inspire some others as well, been
Mm.
there to help pick them up at times. So when you think about someone who is watching this video in the future, thinking about this
Mhm.
decision, what is something you'd want to share with them? If you could speak to them as they're trying to make their decision, what would you share with them?
If I were, I'm just going to imagine that I'm talking to myself
Sure.
before joining the program. I would say like, hey, I understand where you're coming from, Dhanashri. It is a big financial commitment when you do not have a job, or it may be a easier decision when you already have a job and you're just looking for the next jump. But I'm going to assume somebody in my boat who does not have a job right now, and they have been waiting. So look at the value proposition, look at the amount of money you are losing every month by not being a product manager that you can be at a wonderful company which is a right fit for you. And it is not just big tech that is hiring. There are so many companies, so many different companies in different areas: fintech, prop tech, legal tech, edutech. Everybody is wanting a product manager team, not just one or two product people. They have a product team, and this is your chance to build that network, build that community, and you will never be lonely in that job search process. You will never feel isolated. You will always have help, and you will always have opportunities to help someone else get help and be of use to somebody else. So I would say, I think that should be enough to nudge somebody in the right direction there.
I love it. I love it. What a great message to your previous self and to some future version of you that other people might be kind of role playing that. So thank you for sharing that, and congratulations on your new role. I'm excited to see what you're going to do. This company was very wise to bring you on. They've gotten a rock star in having you join the
Aw.
team, and I look forward to kind of watching and seeing how your career grows. So thank you for sharing and for being part of this, and congratulations.
Thank you. Happy to share it with you, Bill, and the entire IGS community.
Wonderful.